Welcome to Setting the Stage. I'm Brooke Savage. I have a great new show to tell you about. It's called Soul Pop Summer of Soul. It's happening at Fringe Art Space in downtown Orlando. Mika King is part of the cast, and she's here to tell us all about it. Mika, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Brooke.
So, first question I like to start off with, where are you from? Are you from here in Orlando?
Well, I am what we call a unicorn. I am born and raised right here in Orlando, Florida.
Awesome. I love to hear it. And how did you get into performing, and how long have you been performing?
So I was the little girl in my bedroom with the hairbrush singing along to Whitney Houston, and I'm gonna date myself, Lisa and Cult Jam. I used to love listening to music always. It was just always a part of my life. I had no idea that this is what I would end up doing. But I just love, I'm a communicator. I love talking to people. I love, just kind of being the center of attention, you know how they say. I'm a big ham. And so I went to college for broadcast journalism in Chicago. And while I was there, I started performing with a girl group. It was just a group of us that were friends, and some of us were in journalism, some of us were in engineering, all things that we just, we had no idea that we would eventually pursue this. And so we got together, we started winning talent shows, and we started performing across the city. And the next thing I knew, I was calling home like, hey, I want to change my major to music. My family was like, absolutely not. You're going to come home and get a real job. And that's what I did. I came home and I worked in TV news right here in Central Florida at Central Florida News 13 and also Channel 9. And I interned here at Channel 6. And sooner than later, I realized that my passion was to sing. And then I had to pursue that full time. And so that's kind of how I made that transition. It's a funny story. And sorry to my news director at Channel 9, but I needed time off for a gig. And I went and I asked for the time off, and it was denied. And I was like, but I really need to do this. And quiet as kept, it was paying me more in 2 days than I would have made in 2 weeks working at the station. And so the news director looked at me and she said, well, you have a decision to make. And I was like, already made. And I left that day and I never looked back. And I've been working in music ever since.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was a long time ago, Brooke.
I just think it's inspiring how you've been able to do performing full time. And it took that one, leap of faith really to make it happen.
I got my first professional contract in 2000.
Wow.
So I've been in this game for a while and in different facets, different areas of the industry. I've done theme park work, and I have my own music where I have recorded 2 albums, and I've toured with my music. I've toured singing background with other singers. I do artist consulting for other artists. I do voiceover work and acting. So I just do different facets of the industry, but I love being an artist.
That is so cool, and I don't think many people realize how people are able to make a performance career here in Central Florida.
Yeah, and there's so many things that we can do. Like I mentioned, the theme parks. The theme parks are our major outlet for performers, whether you're an actor, a voice actor, or a singer, dancer. And I'm not a dancer, but there's so many things that you can do. And then we also have the southeastern region is great for TV and film. So we have that outlet as well. There's so many things that we can do here. And there's so many great performers. And I'm saying this as someone who has aspirations for Broadway. I want to someday be on Broadway. And so, everyone's like, New York, and New York is great. And the performers there are great. I travel there all the time to audition. But I have to say that, our hometown is keeping up.
Yes, I completely agree. Speaking of, what can you tell us about your show Soul Pop? What can people expect?
So this is my baby. Soul Pop Summer of Soul is something that we've been envisioning for quite some time. Sunflower Joy Music was originally formed in 2006, and it was for the purpose of manufacturing, producing, and distributing my own music. And as we have grown and listened to the community, we realized just the lack of agency that Black artists and a lot of artists of color have for their work. Like we work for other people, but we don't have a lot of ownership. And I wanted to change that, especially after everything that happened in 2020. And my organization, Central Florida Entertainment Advocacy, really did some hardcore deep dives into how can we make this industry better and more equitable for everyone. And that was one of the things that we heard repeatedly, that we need to be in decision-making positions. And so I thought, okay, we've already got the structure. Why don't we add an entertainment division to this, and I expand for the purpose of amplifying the voices and the art of other artists as well. And so that's how we started, and then we got connected with the Orlando Fringe and the Collective, and it's a mentorship incubator program that has helped 3 different companies produce their work. And so our work is what we're doing right now, the Soul Pop Summer of Soul. And Soul Pop is our first group on our roster. And it is a really unique, we call them aliens, because it's a really kind of, unique concept of pop music, soul music, and acoustic. And so we've got a group of 4 singers, 1 female and 3 males, and a guitar player, that just really come up and electrify the stage. They're taking it way back to like Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then even now with Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, we're hitting the gamut of favorites that people know and love, but they're doing it their own way, in their own voices, with their own style. And the thing that I love the most about this is that this is their show. I was not some dictator saying, hey, do this. Like, we all sat in a room and we collaborated and we built the show together. And so what everyone sees is a genuine, authentic display of their artistry. And I love that for us.
Wow, that sounds really special. What is your favorite part of the show?
I would have to say my favorite, now, and this is really funny because I am not by any means a Swiftie. Sorry to Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie. But one of our singers really loves Shake It Off. And I was like, oh my God, I hate that song. But it has turned out to be the cutest and one of the most fun songs in the show. And every night I just love seeing what they're going to come up with. The guys are really having a good time just being so silly. And it looks like, honestly, when you watch it, it looks like you're watching brothers and sisters on stage being pesky little brothers and the little sister who wants the attention. Like, it's so, so, so adorable. So I just love watching it every night.
That's so cute. And there's audience interaction too, right?
There is so much audience interaction. So you can expect, when you come to Soul Pop Summer of Soul, you can expect to sing and to dance, to clap your hands. Like, you're not just sitting there watching a show. You are definitely involved. And that's from the beginning. As soon as you walk into the venue, and we have kind of a little space theme going on. So as soon as you walk in, you're transported into a space terminal.
Wow.
The lobby, that's what the lobby is. And so there's a space terminal gallery where we have so many vendors, baked goods, food, drinks. The artists have their material. We've got Soul Pop merchandise that you can buy, and teas and artwork. We've got all of that in the lobby that you can, participate in. And then we have a very special host by the name of Dexatron. And he's our resident alien who is leading us through the experience. And so there's dancing out in the lobby, and just up, it's a party. It's a really good time. And then you get transported into Soul Pop world.
Wow, that sounds like so much fun. And you just had opening weekend, right?
We did.
So what is some of the feedback you've received so far?
Honestly, everyone has just talked about how much fun they had. And that's really what we wanted. several people have told us just how uplifted they felt when they experienced everything, and how they just left with a smile on their faces. And that really is what we wanted. We wanted people to come in and experience joy.
Awesome. And what did it mean to you to be part of the collective at Fringe Art Space? Since it helps grow artists and organizations.
It's been such a rewarding experience. And what I love about it is that we are a part of the inaugural group. This is their first time, doing this in association with the Downtown Development Board. And so we had some growing pains. We had some hurdles and some things we had to talk through and get through. And I love that, we were listened to. I love that we were able to collectively come up with what works for each group, because we're all different. All of the 3 groups in the collective are very different. Our end goals are very different. The genre of what we produce is very different. And I love that they have tailored this for all of us in a very specific way. And it just has been very rewarding to be able to have the resources that we need to get this on its feet.
And so what about the genres in your show? What made you want to do soul, pop, and acoustic all at once instead of just doing soul or pop or acoustic?
So the funny story about this is that as we were already thinking about these groups and how we wanted to put them together, the reason that soul pop actually exists is from a request from Walt Disney. Last year for the Dreamers Academy, I was approached and asked to provide them with a group for their Dreamers. And I went to some of my friends and I was like, hey, we need to put a group together and we need to sing some songs that will make these kids have a great time. And so that is originally how Soul Pop came together. And I knew that, or the director of the show knew that she wanted a guitar player. So that is how that element got added. And it just made it, it was just like icing on the cake. And then they did so well that they were invited back again this year for the Dreamers Academy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is the deeper meaning? You talked a little bit about this. What is the deeper meaning behind soul pop, do you think?
Behind soul pop, I think the deeper meaning lies in Sunflower Joy and what we're trying to accomplish through soul pop, and just the fact that, again, like I said, this is the amplification of these artists and their artistry, and it's a full display of who they are, their personalities, what they would say and how they would say it, what they would do, how they would move. This is not anybody, micromanaging or owning what they do. They literally own what they do. And it really is our goal to continue to elevate that, and not just with ourselves, but invite other artists into the fold. We're going to be holding auditions because we know that, as we grow, we will need other people to swing in. We even had our first sub swing in for our female singer yesterday, and it went so great. And it just made me so proud to be able to provide opportunities for other artists in our community.
Awesome. So just because you mentioned it a little bit just now, what is next for Sunflower Joy Music?
Next for Sunflower Joy Music. Well, now that we have Soul Pop, we really want to be able to market it to regional theaters, performing arts centers, cruise ships, and in corporate events. We want to be able to do different gigs and have them fully booked and blessed, as we say in this industry. And we have some other groups that we are working on. One is a Motown group, a Motown fusion of contemporary and the original Motown sound, and it's called Motor City Soul. So that's going to be our next venture. And then we also have a show called Divas Live that will be in the works, and that will be all female, singing the hits of our iconic American divas.
Wow, that sounds so fun. I love it. And what else did you want to bring up about Soul Pop or Sunflower Joy Music?
So we have tonight, August 12th, because I know this is going to also air later, but August 12th, tonight, we have an industry night, and that is everybody in our community that works in the arts and entertainment in any capacity. I don't care if you are, lifting lights or singing on the stage, you are welcome, and it is completely free. We've done this because we really want to give back to the community, and it's our way of appreciating people who work as hard as we do in this field. And so we just wanted to provide a space where they can just come and have a good time. Now, I know it is the first day of school, so I know it might be a challenge for some people, but bring your kids. It is completely family friendly. The show does not run super late, so you will be out in enough time to get them into bed. But it's open to everyone. Everyone is invited, and it's completely free tonight. So I just want everybody in our community to be able to experience this. And as we go beyond tonight, because we have 2 more weekends, we've got next weekend and the following weekend. So that's the 16th through 18th and the 23rd through 25th. And I really want people to just come out and experience what we have to offer. I promise you, I don't want to give too much away, but transporting you into this other time and space, this other realm is super fun. And you've just got to come in and see the theme at work and see the storyline unfold and see how Soul Pop really just ties it all together. Oh, and we have guest artists. We have guest artists, 3 different guest artists. Our first one is finishing up tonight. This was her weekend, and her name is Charlotte Simmons. And she is amazing, not only an amazing singer, but she has an amazing story. She's a 2-time kidney transplant recipient. And she is not only here to tell her story, but to share her amazing gift. And this girl sings. She sings. She's so good. And she's a friend of mine. We have worked together for many, many, many years. And it was just such a blessing for me to be able to have her here. And she has her own barbecue sauce.
Wow.
Isn't that really cool?
Yes.
I'm like, what singer do you know with their own barbecue sauce? But she and her husband have a company, and they have their own barbecue sauce. And she also has a nonprofit organization where she helps other transplant patients.
Here in Central Florida?
Here in Central Florida. It's called McCall's Hope.
Wow. What about the sauce?
The barbecue sauce, I think it's called Popeyes.
Oh, okay.
And everybody, I'm telling you, it has gone fast every single night. Every single night people have bought up the barbecue sauce. So I'm excited for her. And the next weekend we've got Raven Iman. And Raven Iman is a new up-and-coming artist in our area. She actually came through the Central Florida Entertainment Advocacy's Kuumba program. And it's where we teach singers how to audition effectively, and we get them in front of different casting directors. And she also has her own artistry. So she will be there. She plays guitar. She has her original music, and it's going to be so amazing to hear her. And she's also a very prominent voice for the queer community. And so it's amazing for us to be able to have that representation in the room. So when we say everybody's welcome, everybody's welcome. And our last weekend, we are finishing out with Tremaine Lamar, who is an R&B and soul sensation. He has shared the stage with some of the greats like Layla Hathaway and Musiq Soulchild, and he is just an incredible voice, and I'm excited to feature him as well.
I love that. And what made you want to do different guest artists instead of, did they not want to be part of the whole group or what?
No, I really, again, Brooke, the whole reason we're doing this is to amplify the artistry of as many artists that we can. And so this was our way of being able to dedicate, a full amount of time where they would have access to a lot of people throughout the 3 days, but then to be able to have different ones to showcase different artistry. So
wow.
each artist is very different. They all kind of sing soul music, so I'll give that one away. But they're very different in their writing, and they're all 3 singing their original music.
Wow. That is such a great idea. I really love that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And again, you could catch Mika King in Soul Pop at Fringe Art Space in downtown Orlando. We really appreciate having you here.
Thank you, Brooke. Come out, everybody.